Am I the a-hole for not giving my parents the master bedroom in my house? My parents and younger brother are about to move into my house, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and I'm having a bit of a dilemma. I offered for my family to move in with us while their house is getting built after the sale of their current home. We live in a rental crisis, and when a rental is secured, it can be really expensive. I'm super close with my parents, and without thinking, of course I offered for them to live with me for the 1.5 years it'll take to build. Currently living in my home are myself, my husband, and our newborn baby. My husband is only home 1 week of the month, as he works away. It was loosely agreed that my parents and brother would take the back 2 rooms, which have a bathroom, walk-in shower and bath, and a toilet between the rooms, and set up their sofa and TV in the activity area next to the rooms. This way, they would have one wing of the house, and my husband, daughter, and I would have the other side. We have a 1-story house. My daughter currently stays in our room, but will eventually move to the back of the house near my parents next to the activity area. My mother has been making comments to the effect of, "I think your dad and I should be getting the master bedroom," in a casual, non-serious way, which has bothered my husband, who says they're not getting our room. She's also made comments that they'll hear the baby crying during the night, so she thinks I should be in the back room closer to her. To be honest, there is not much distance between the master and my daughter's future room and the back rooms. She has also said that the TV in the activity area will keep the baby awake when she moves into her own room, so she should stay in the theater room next to the master. Now I found out that my mother has been making comments to my other brother that it's disrespectful that I haven't offered her and my dad the master bedroom that has an ensuite, because she's going to be paying half the mortgage. This had not been agreed. An amount they would pay us monthly was agreed, but it's nowhere near half the mortgage. It's enough to cover bills. So my question is, am I the a-hole for remaining in the master bedroom and not giving it to my parents? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole, but if this is how things are before they even move in, I think you should consider rescinding your invitation. 1.5 years is a very long time, and it may even wreck your marriage. Absolutely. In addition, OP hasn't addressed household duties and maintenance. Who is paying for food and doing the cooking, division of yard work, or whether the parents will be covered by her home and auto insurance? OP, tell them that after reflection, you have realized that this will not work. Tell them that they will be happier in their own place. Wish them well. Right. When my parents moved in, we discussed everything: chores, cooking, food, money, childcare. It was all agreed who would do what, when, and how it would work. We revisit the agreement yearly, everyone sitting down and discussing. It's the only way to make it work. A full-on roommate agreement. If you can't sit down and agree on these basic things, it'll never work. And if she's already being passive-aggressive about the room, it will definitely never work. When I was young and living on my own, anytime my parents came to visit, they found ways to help me. My dad would fix anything broken, loose boards, wobbly doorknobs, etc. And my mom would scrub baseboards and banish any soap scum she could find to the fiery pits of Hades. They would do all this while I was still asleep at 7 a.m. It blows my mind and just makes me so sad when I read about entitled parents like this who think they are above their children, like their kids owe them something. Now that I'm in my 40s and my parents are in their 70s, the roles are reversed. And anytime my husband and I are at my parents' home, they have a list of things they need help with. Putting heavy things away in the attic, dusting high shelves so they don't climb ladders, fixing electronic things they don't understand, LOL. But they don't expect us to do these things any more than I expected them to help me in my home. We help each other because we love and respect each other. That's what family is supposed to be. You're going to tank your marriage. Stop this now. I'm not joking. You're going to mess up your marriage. Experienced this. I fully agree. Side with your husband and keep a united front. I feel you. We went through this with my parents and we would not recommend. What was supposed to be just 3 weeks turned into 6 months. It's a miracle our marriage survived, LOL. Next story. Am I the a-hole for siding with my mom instead of my wife? My wife and I have a son who is about to turn 5. My parents, mostly my mom, have been providing us with free childcare since he was a few months old. My mom follows all our requests, no screens, no added sweeteners, and gives our son a level of care no amount of money could buy, and we couldn't afford even an inferior level anyway. Our son loves my parents. He loves my wife's parents too, but he sees them way less, and is always happy when I drop him off and when my wife picks him up. I have an older brother who has issues, and my parents have bailed him out several times in the past. A few years ago, he totaled the car they bought him, and they said they were done helping. It turns out they have been paying his rent for the last 2 years. My wife made a comment about how the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and no one will ever wonder who their favorite is. My mom got mad and said she spends 40+ hours a week on us in childcare, and she can do whatever she wants with her money, whether that be paying her son's rent, pissing on it, or setting it on fire. It was definitely an extreme response. My wife demanded an apology and said she didn't deserve to be spoken to like that. My mom apologized for being vulgar but said the sentiment stands and that she wants my wife to be quiet about her financial decisions. They went back and forth until my dad made my mom go upstairs. My wife seethed the whole way home. My wife wants to stop relying on my mom for childcare. She said her mom can do some babysitting and we can find a daycare until school starts in the fall. She said she couldn't trust our son with someone emotionally volatile. I told my wife she was the instigator and asked why she couldn't just ignore information about my brother. I said our son loves his grandparents and yanking them away from him right before he transitions to kindergarten might traumatize him. I also reminded her we can't afford daycare. My wife said I'm unsupportive and siding with my family against her. I'm not trying to be unsupportive, just to give honest feedback. Should I just have said she was right even though I don't think she is? If your mom has been babysitting for almost 5 years, she's been giving you and your wife a financial benefit even greater than 2 years of rent. She could have saved you all over $100,000 at $2,000 a month, and she's giving your child one-on-one attention, which he wouldn't otherwise get. You and your wife, by extension, are the favorites. Your wife is an idiot, not the a-hole. This, and bonus that the kid likes her. I hated staying with my grandmother. She was cool, she just didn't know how to deal with kids at all. You're saying it's an extreme response from your mother, but to me, it sounds like pent-up frustration. Has your wife made little digs before, more subtle than this one? Are you truly appreciative of the amount of time your parents have devoted to your family? Is your wife? The fact that your wife has immediately defaulted to, your mother is volatile and can't look after our child, also suggests these are ongoing issues that you've been oblivious to. You're not the a-hole with regard to this situation, but I wonder if you've failed to recognize other behavior from your wife that has led to this. My wife doesn't like my brother and has made that known many times. My brother sucks. He can't hold down a job because he has emotional outbursts. He's been violent in the past. He's even spent some time in county. My parents spent a lot of money on psychiatric care for him and paid for his expensive medication, but he won't take it. They said they were done and cutting him off, but my guess is they couldn't stand for him to be homeless. He is their son after all. Info. I'd need to hear your wife's story. Okay, here's a copy and paste from a text she sent me after she got to work. If your mom really didn't think sending him money was bad, she wouldn't have kept it a secret for 2 years. I don't see how we can all be on the same page and then everyone gets amnesia. Helping him is hurting him. You said that yourself. She's enabling, but I'm the bad guy for snark? She can't see straight when it comes to him. I just want some freaking acknowledgement that this behavior is unhealthy AF. I will apologize to her, but this is not okay. You need to talk to her. So that's her side. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband he's made me reconsider leaving him alone with the kids in the future? Hi, I wanted to get an opinion on whether I was in the wrong here. It was my niece's wedding this weekend. She's my oldest niece, the first among her cousins to get married, and I'm very close to her. There were also some events happening last weekend, so I took the last week off from work and flew to her place the weekend before. My husband and the kids, 12-year-old daughter and 10-year-old son, were supposed to fly in on Friday for the main event. Before I left, I had prepared enough food for them to last the whole time. The stuff they were planning on eating first, I put in the fridge, and the other dishes in the freezer. All they had to do was let it thaw, put it in a pan or pot, add some water, and heat it. I had even marinated some chicken separately for them to cook in the oven. For their school lunches, I told my husband what needed to be made for them and that it would take 20 minutes in the morning, so he should factor that in. He said he understood. Now, this is my fault too, but for the first 2 days I made sure to ask during my conversations with them if the food situation was fine, but I hadn't brought it up later, and all the events we were having distracted me too. When they flew in, I asked if it had all gone well and if the food had run out. He said no, there was more than enough, which made me feel better. But when we got home yesterday, there was way more food left than I thought. I brought it up and found out that even thawing and heating the food was too much to do after the initial refrigerated dishes, and they'd defaulted to eating out. He'd also been giving them lunch money instead of homemade lunches. I was so annoyed. I told him I was disappointed in him and that I'd have to think twice before ever leaving him alone with the kids again. He got heated too and said I wasn't giving him due credit for taking care of the kids. He said they were happy with what he was doing and that should be enough, that the kids were safe and sound and there had been no emergencies, and that it was messed up for me to say I didn't trust him with the kids. We've been curt with each other this morning. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Just want to add that we had discussed what I should leave for them before I started cooking. I asked the kids what they wanted and discussed it with him. He'd asked me to make his favorite meal, which was the one they ate first. Also, yes, I do work. I'm a dentist and have my own practice. He got exactly what he wanted. He pretended he was too incompetent to even thaw and heat up food that was already prepared. His reward is now that you'll never ask him to take care of his own children again. This can't possibly be the only time he's acted utterly helpless in order to get you to do anything and everything he doesn't want to do. You don't have a husband, you have a third child, not the a-hole. Agreed. The issue is not that somebody got hurt or that food got wasted. It's that a grown adult is saying that thawing and reheating food someone else had already made was too much for him. For one thing, that's BS. Eating out is considerably more work than thawing and reheating a meal. For another, it's pathetic and disrespectful of OP's time. She did a sizable amount of work prepping all their meals ahead of time, and he has the gall to act as if reheating someone else's work is too much? I guess I'm a different kind of wife, because I'm leaving next week to go out of town. I told my husband to figure it out while I'm gone, LOL. He knows where the grocery store is. In my opinion, he is a competent adult and knows how to take care of our kids too. Same, there's no scenario in which I'd be making freezer meals for my partner while I'm away. My partner is an adult and can figure it out and doesn't require my supervision. I would ask if there's anything I could do to make it easier for them, within reason, because we're a team, but I'm not going to double my workload to prepare food to eat while I'm gone. Mini update. A lot of people are saying there was no need for me to have done the prep. I hear that. I'm not saying it's the best way. It's just the structure we have and what the kids are used to, so I didn't want that disrupted. Normally, I pick up the kids on my way back from the clinic and make them lunch. 3 times a week, I go to a dental center in the evenings too, so before I leave, I normally have dinner set up and snacks made for them for the evening. When I'm back, they're normally full and then I can finish making dinner. So they're used to homemade food. And yes, I should have started teaching the kids how to cook too. They're busy with studying, extracurriculars, and friends, so I've avoided pushing this onto them, but gradual responsibility is a good idea. Reading the comments, I recognize I probably did cross a line. I'll apologize to him. Last story. Am I the a-hole for considering divorce because my husband doesn't want to live in the city we agreed on before marriage? Hi, this is my first post, so please bear with me. I, 24 female, moved to Florida a little over a year ago to be with my husband, 23 male. We met in Florida when I was visiting a friend, then we did long distance for a while. Eventually, I decided to move to Florida to give the relationship a real try. That's where he proposed, and we got married. Everything happened very fast, but I truly believe in the whole when you know, you know. Before I moved, I was very clear that my long-term plan was to live in Texas, specifically San Antonio, so I could be closer to my family. I agreed to spend a few years in Florida so we could be near his family, with the understanding that once we were settled, we would move to Texas. He agreed to this. Lately, though, every time I mention that I don't like Florida and that I'm excited to eventually move back to Texas, he gets very defensive and starts talking badly about Texas. That made me start wondering if he ever truly planned on moving with me. Last night, I brought up that he never really takes me out to explore Florida, so there isn't much about living here that I've grown to like. I mentioned something along the lines of, when we move to San Antonio, we can do all these different things since I know the area really well. That's when he got extremely defensive and said, I already told you I'm not moving to San Antonio. We can move anywhere else in Texas, but not San Antonio. This completely shocked me because I've never hidden my intention to live in San Antonio. We started arguing and he wouldn't see my side at all. I explained that San Antonio was the only major city close to my family. They live about 4 hours away, and that being near them is really important to me. He still refused to even consider it. I told him that since I was always honest about this plan and he agreed to it, he should have told me before getting married that he didn't intend to live there. If I had known that, I would have thought twice about marrying him. His excuse is that he doesn't think he'll find a good job there. But I've told him I actually made more money in San Antonio than I do now in Florida, working in the same field. We argued all night, and now I'm seriously questioning whether I made a mistake rushing into this marriage with someone who won't honor an agreement we made before we got married. If I'm being honest, part of me feels like he doesn't want to move there because, in his mind, all my exes are there. Meanwhile, all his exes are here in Florida, and I still agreed to move here and start over for him, but he won't do the same for me. So, am I the a-hole for considering divorce? Not the a-hole. Get out now before kids are involved. Never intended on leaving. Not the a-hole. He pulled the old bait and switch on you, got you locked into marriage, and now has zero intention of leaving Florida. I'd divorce and move back home were it me. Annul or divorce, but do it soon before he starts suggesting babies or messes with your birth control. That's the next phase if it is a bait and switch. He tied you down with marriage and will now try to do it with children if he thinks you'll try to leave. What is the next closest city in Texas to your parents? Start talking about how you're willing to compromise and move to whatever city is next closest, and start making plans about where in that city you'll be moving. His response will tell you everything you need to know. I did suggest Austin as a compromise, and he's open to it, but the cost of living there is similar to Florida, which is why I'm hesitant. San Antonio felt like the best balance of affordability and being near my family.